Hello, hello. Welcome to day 1003 of Connecting the Thoughts. Quote for today is Loss changes you forever. And what do I mean by that? We'll soon find out. Welcome back. Conversation today is about loss changes you forever. And what do I mean by that? Well, I was in conversation with a peer coach some time back, and it was more about an introductory session where we get to know each other, and somewhere the conversation led into why I do what I do. And that's when it came to me that loss changes you forever because you don't truly ever get over a loss. You don't truly ever get over a hurt or a gap that comes in your life. And again, hey Gopalan, and again, this could be any kind of a loss. It doesn't have to be loss of a loved one. It could be a loss in a relationship wherein you people have decided to go separate ways. A loss of trust where your good friends or colleagues, there's a breach of trust and you feel like, okay, I'm at loss. I do not know how to deal with this, and then you feel like a little out of balance, and that's also a loss. Financial loss, losses of maybe you've invested in a business, you've set up a business, you've come up with some idea that you want to work on, and it doesn't really go the way you think, and then loss changes you forever. And it might be something harsh that I'm saying today because it feels like, okay, loss changes you. Why? Every experience changes you. Yes, every experience changes you. But the way loss changes you, I think, is more deeper. It's more remarkable because somewhere when there is a loss of, as I said, loss of a loved one, loss of trust, loss of investment, loss of any kind, we tend to take a step back and look at ourselves very differently. We tend to take chances moving forward in life very differently. If you've been hurt in a relationship, if you've been hurt, if your trust has been hurt, you tend to be very mindful of who you let into your life soon after. You are very mindful of the friends you then make. You are then very mindful of the conversations you have, how much you share with people. These are all things that happen. So I think as much as joy and happiness also shapes us, I think loss changes us forever. It shapes the decisions we make. It shapes the way we move forward. It shapes the conversations we have. It shapes the way we think. Yes. And Gopalan says, a sense that a piece of you has been taken away. Precisely, a sense that a piece of you has been taken away, like a hollow in your heart or a hollow in your relationships, in at your work, with your money. It could just be that hollowness that you begin to feel, and it takes some time and some learning for that hollow to kind of fill in as best as it can, because it never really goes back to what it was. I think a hollow that is created is then just gets filled up, and initially probably it gets filled up with a sense of heaviness, with a sense of feeling overwhelmed, or feeling like how would you put this? Feeling a little guilty or feeling a little angry, bitter about why is this happening to me. But I think if you replace that, all those negative feelings, from a place of compassion for yourself, from a place of kindness for yourself, by giving yourself some time to really put your head around it, and then take that next step forward, because life goes on. As hard as awkward as it is to say this, but life does go on, and you come to realize that what you fill inside that hollow then becomes the way you look at that experience. If you replace bitterness and anger with kindness or with compassion for yourself, for nobody else, but for yourself first, then you look at that experience from a place of compassion and kindness. If you replace the loss with a space of from with a sense of purpose, then you look at that experience as a learning. You look at that experience as something that made you stronger. So yeah, these are my thoughts on hi Srinivas. So these are my thoughts on loss changes you forever. If this has been of value to you, please write in comments saying, I am mindful. Please write in comments that I am mindful. Because as much as we are mindful of the celebrations in life, I think it's also important for us to be mindful of the losses. Because definitely loss changes you forever. How you would like to change? That's your choice. Isn't that beautiful that you have that choice? And even if, as I said, if you've initially filled that hollow if you fill that hollow initially with anger, guilt, distrust, from a place of hurt, if you filled it with that grief, guilt, if you filled it with that, it's okay, because anything that you fill this hollow with, it can always be replaced. You know, it's like if you have something in a glass and you push and put more of another liquid or another more water into it, somehow after a point, all of that muck, all of that dirt will eventually be cleaned, and you will end up with a glass of clean water, or as clean as it can be. And you just have to ensure that you're constantly pouring more of mindfulness, more of gratitude, more of learning, more of awareness, more of acceptance into that space. So fill yourself with that. And be kind to yourself. Come from a place of compassion. I have a few comments that have come in. Gopalan says the hollowness has to metamorphize. Okay, you know what that word is. Like a river finding its way towards the ocean, there will be meandering. Exactly. So that's what I was saying. The water, and if it were a river that you're pouring, a river of mindfulness that you're pouring into that hollow, then any kind of muck, any kind of negativity, any kind of anger, guilt, heaviness that you are storing in that hollow will definitely get washed away. I love that metaphor of a river. Thank you. Umar says, you are what you think. Life gives you what you really feel about yourself. Absolutely. You are what you think. Life definitely gives you what you feel about yourself. So don't let a loss make you feel short in any way. Don't let a loss make you feel silly or out of place or alone in any way. Because there are always people who care. There are always people who will walk with you. And sometimes the people that you are missing are walking within you. I am mindful in comments if this has been of value to you. And until tomorrow. Oh, and before I go, we are holding Wise Wednesdays ahead of time today, which is in another 45 minutes. I have Spencer Lodge coming in, and we are talking about making it happen. One thing I can guarantee is one thing that I can guarantee is that this conversation is going to be high energy. This conversation is going to be high value, and this conversation is going to be high return on your investment of time. So do join us in some time, 45 minutes later. Dale, I will speak to you privately. I don't think so. Please bear us, hold strong. And again, I request for prayers for Cindy, who is also fighting a small battle of her own. So keep her in your prayers. And until tomorrow, keep smiling, keep shining, stay safe. And thank you for connecting the thoughts with me. Thank you so, so much. Thanks.